Let us begin a journey through Southeast Asia, a region where mountains rise from mist and islands drift like emeralds across a sapphire sea. Here, jungles breathe with ancient life. Rivers wind through rice terraces carved by hand and hope. The earth steams, falls, and flowers all in the rhythm of sun, rain, and fire. We will climb volcanoes that whisper smoke into dawn, wander through fields of gold where the flowers bloom and vanish with the season, swim in hidden lagoons where coral glows like fire beneath the waves. Listen to waterfalls tumble through green silence. Are you ready to follow? Not just along paths drawn on a map, but into places where myth still lingers, in stone and tide, where beauty is not loud, but lasting in petals, in cliffs, in the hush between one breath and the next. Mount Bromo, Indonesia. Mount Bromo rises from the heart of East Java like a breath of fire frozen in time. This active volcano, part of the vast Tengger caldera, is a sacred site wrapped in ash and mist. Its crater smolders softly veiled by clouds that drift across the sky at dawn. The landscape is otherworldly. A sea of volcanic sand stretches wide and empty, rimmed by jagged peaks. Horse hooves echo in the silence as Tenggeri's villagers make pilgrimages to the rim, carrying offerings to the gods of smoke and stone. Sunrise paints the horizon in gold, red, and blue. A chill lingers in the thin air. Bromo is not loud. It whispers in steam and silence, in sacredness. It is a place where earth still dreams in fire. Ha Long Bay, Vietnam. Ha Long Bay lies off the coast of northern Vietnam, a seascape of myth and mist. Over 600 limestone islands rise from emerald waters, their surfaces carved by time and waves. Legends speak of dragons that fell from the sky, their tails forming the bay. The air is thick with salt and silence. Junks glide between cliffs, their sails like wings against the haze. Caves open like secrets in the rock. Beaches appear and vanish with the tide. From above, the bay looks endless, a maze of stone and sea. Fishermen cast nets in the quiet. The water glows at dawn. Ha Long is not just a bay, it is a floating forest of stone, ancient, haunted, and utterly serene. Banawa Rice Terraces, Philippines. High in the Cordillera Mountains, the Banawi Rice Terraces cling to the slopes like green stairways to the clouds. Carved by hand over 2,000 years ago, these terraces are a living testament to harmony between people and land. Each step is a mirror catching the sky, holding water feeding generations. Water flows from mountain springs through stone-lined channels, feeding rice paddies that shift with the seasons, emerald in summer, gold in harvest, and glassy in the rains. The air smells of earth and smoke. The wind carries voices in Ifugao tongue. Farms rise where no flat ground exists. It is farming as poetry written in layers. Banawa is not just agriculture, it is memory in motion, carved in mountain and sustained by hands. Mount Kinabalu, Malaysia. Mount Kinabalu towers over the island of Borneo, rising 4,095 meters into skies laced with cloud. It is the tallest peak in Southeast Asia and a sacred place to the Kadazan Dusun people who believe spirits dwell near its summit. Granite slopes shimmer in the early light. Mist rolls across jagged ridges. Rare orchids bloom in mossy forests, and the call of birds echoes through the trees. Trails climb from steaming jungles to alpine meadows. At dawn, climbers gather on the summit, waiting in silence as the sun ignites the sky. Here, the world feels young and old at once. Kinabalu is not just a climb. It is a communion with wind, with stone, with something far older than man. Komodo National Park, Indonesia. In the waters between Sumbawa and Flores lies Komodo National Park, a land where dragons walk and time slows. Rugged hills roll down to turquoise bays. The sun burns high above savanna grass and thorny brush. On the islands of Komodo and Rinca, giant lizards, Komodo dragons move with ancient grace. Their tongues flick the air. Their steps leave no sound. Underwater coral reefs burst with color. Manta rays glide over sea fans and sponges. Divers drift through schools of fish in waters as clear as glass. The wind smells of salt and dry earth. Komodo is not a fantasy. It is a realm of raw reality, wild, ancient, and alive. Inle Lake, Myanmar. Inle Lake rests like a silver mirror in the heart of Myanmar's Shan Hills. At dawn, the surface is still broken only by the soft glide of longboats and the rhythmic splash of oars. Here, Intha fishermen row with one leg balancing like dancers, as they cast nets into the shallow waters. Floating gardens bloom with tomatoes and flowers, tethered by bamboo and lakeweed. Wooden stilt houses rise from the water, and temples glint in the sun. The lake shifts with the light gold in the morning glassy blue, by noon silver in the dusk. Herons wade, water hyacinths drift. Innerly is not just a lake, it is a living village, a slow-moving world afloat on water tradition and quiet persistence. Bolavan Plateau, Laos. The Bolavan Plateau spreads across southern Laos, high above the Mekong lowlands. Cool air sweeps across red earth coffee plantations and endless waterfalls tumbling through jungle canyons. Here the land breathes green, mist hangs in the valleys, and rain falls gently even in sunlight. Tadphane plunges in twin ribbons over volcanic cliffs. Villages of the Lavan and Alak people sit among rows of coffee trees, dark beans growing in volcanic soil. Birdsong echoes in the forest. The roads curve past quiet fields and sudden cascades. Bolavan is not about spectacle. It is about peace, found in falling water, the scent of roasted beans, and mornings wrapped in fog. Borobudur Temple, Indonesia. Rising from the plains of central Java, Borobudur is a temple carved from stone and silence. Built in the 9th century, it is the world's largest Buddhist monument, a mandala in stone reaching to the sky. Nine terraces spiral upward, crowned by a central stupa. Over 2,600 relief panels tell stories of the Buddha's life. Bells and Buddhas sit within latticed domes, watching the sunrise burn through the mist. Each step upward is a journey from the world of desire to enlightenment. Pilgrims walk clockwise in quiet reverence. The stone is cool before dawn, warm by midday. Borobudur is not just a monument. It is a path to wisdom, to stillness, to the eternal rising of the light. Mount Phan Xipang, Vietnam. Phan Xipang pierces the clouds of northern Vietnam, the roof of Indochina, rising 347 meters above sea level. It watches over the Hoang Linh Sơn Range, where wind and mist shape every stone and tree. Trekking its slopes means walking through shifting worlds, bamboo forests, mossy pines, rocky crags. The trail breathes fog and sun, silence and bird call. Ethnic villages lie below, home to the Hmong and Dao, whose cultures are woven into the mountain's rhythm. At the summit, a large bronze statue of the Buddha greets the sky. The air is thin, the view endless. Fansipan is not just a peak. It is a climb through cloud and spirit where the earth touches the heavens in quiet awe. Quang Si Waterfall, Laos. Hidden in the forests south of Luang Prabang, Quang Si waterfall flows like a dream in motion. Water spills from limestone cliffs into turquoise pools, each step a new cascade, a new mirror of the sky. The forest hums, butterflies drift through the spray. The air is cool with mist and the scent of damp earth. Visitors dip into the pools or rest beneath the trees. Monks pass silently in orange robes. At the top, the main fall plunges in white ribbons, roaring into stillness. The limestone gives the water its otherworldly hue, soft, clear, almost glowing. Quang Si is not just a waterfall. It is a place of light and hush, a hidden oasis where the forest speaks in water. Mayon Volcano, Philippines. Mayon rises with perfect symmetry on the island of Luzon, a cone so flawless it seems drawn by a god's hand. This active volcano is both beautiful and dangerous, crowned with steam and legend. Its slopes are wrapped in fields, villages, and memories. Locals speak of the tragic love that gave Mayon her shape, a princess turned mountain, watching over her land forever. At sunset, the volcano glows in tones of copper and gold. Clouds gather near the summit like a halo. The earth here is rich, the air warm with life and ash. Even when calm, Mayon hums beneath the surface. She is not just a mountain, she is myth in motion, precise, powerful, and always watching. Lake Toba, Indonesia. In the highlands of North Sumatra lies Lake Toba, a lake so vast it holds an island the size of Singapore. Formed by a supervolcanic eruption 75,000 years ago, it is one of the largest volcanic lakes on Earth. The water is deep and dark, bordered by steep hills and pine forests. Wisps of cloud cling to the ridges. In the center rests Samosir Island, a land of Batak villages, churches, and sacred stones. The lake changes color with the sky from steel gray to radiant blue. Fishermen paddle wooden canoes across the quiet surface. Here, Time flows slow. Toba is not only a natural wonder, it is a memory of fire, now cradled in peace, a caldera, reborn as serenity. El Nido, Philippines. El Nido sits at the northern tip of Palawan, a paradise where limestone cliffs rise from emerald waters like ancient guardians of the sea. Hidden lagoons glimmer behind narrow rock passages. White sand beaches curve under coconut palms. Coral reefs bloom beneath the surface, teeming with life and color. Boats weave between islands, kayaks slip into secret coves. The sun sets in flame across the bay, and the sea turns gold. Above all cliffs tower in silence. Below the world is warm and full of wonder. El Nido is not just beautiful, it is dream made real, wild, quiet, and impossibly alive. Bromo Tengger Semeru National Park, Indonesia. In East Java, Bromo Tengger Semeru National Park spreads like a dreamscape of fire, ash, and sky. At its heart lies a vast sea of sand where Mount Bromo smokes gently and Mount Semeru erupts with distant thunder. Semeru, the highest peak on Java, sends plumes into the heavens. Bromo, its smaller sibling, breathes with quiet strength. Around them, the Tengger caldera spreads wide and bare, bordered by cliffs and ancient trails. The sun rises in waves of gold and shadow. Mist pours over the rim like soft smoke. The park is sacred to the Tenggerese people, who still honor the old gods with fire and offering. This land is not only volcanic, it is spiritual, where the earth speaks in ash reverence and scar. Nusa Penida, Indonesia. Off the coast of Bali, Nusa Penida rises rugged and wild cliffs, plunging into blue depths, beaches tucked in secret coves, and waves that crash like thunder. Kelingking Beach curves like a T-Rex spine, towering above turquoise waters. Broken Beach arches into the sea, carved by time and tide. Beneath the waves, manta rays glide above coral gardens, graceful and silent. The island's roads wind through hills, past temples and dry fields. It feels remote, distant, not only in place, but in time. Here, nature is raw. The cliffs are sharp. The sea is fierce. Nusa Penida is not for comfort. It is for awe, a place where land ends in light and salt and sky. Cameron Highlands, Malaysia. Tucked into the central mountains of Peninsular Malaysia, the Cameron Highlands unfold in waves of green. Rolling tea plantations stretch toward the horizon, their rows like brushstrokes across the hills. Cool mist hangs over mossy forests and rose gardens. Strawberries ripen in open fields. Tudor-style cottages dot the landscape, echoing a colonial past. Trails weave through jungles and waterfalls where the air smells of earth and wild ginger. Morning dew coats every leaf. In the quiet, bird calls rise like whispers. This highland is a retreat not just from heat, but from noise, from haste. Cameron is not merely scenic, it is gentle, a soft green hush above the tropics. Koh Phi Phi, Thailand. In the Andaman Sea, the Phi Phi Islands rise like emerald blades from turquoise water. Towering limestone cliffs fall into quiet lagoons. Beaches shimmer beneath leaning palms. Phi Phi Lay is uninhabited but unforgettable. Maya Bay cradles white sand and clear water like a secret. Phi Phi Don thrums with lifeboats, laughter music under the stars. Beneath the waves, coral reefs blaze with fish and color. Sunlight pierces the surface like golden rain. The islands pulse between energy and calm, from still mornings to vivid nights. Koh Phi Phi is not just a destination, it is a dream wrapped in saltstone and sun. Doi Inthanon, Thailand. Doi Inthanon rises above northern Thailand, the highest peak in the land. At 2,565 meters, it touches the clouds, a realm where forests turn to mist and temples shine in gold. The mountain is wrapped in layers, tropical jungle pine woods, flowering meadows. Waterfalls crash through the forest, and cherry blossoms bloom in the cool air. Twin stupas crown the summit built for the king and queen, their spires piercing the sky. At dawn, the world is still wrapped in cloud and bird song. Villages of the Karen and Hmong lie along the slopes where rice grows in quiet terraces. Doi Inthanon is not just a mountain. It is a skywalk through nature culture and sacred air. Sipadan Island, Malaysia. Sipadan rises alone from the Celebes Sea, a coral pinnacle teeming with life. This tiny island off Borneo is a marine sanctuary where the ocean pulses in color and motion. Below the surface walls drop straight into blue abyss. Turtles drift past soft corals. Barracuda swirl in silver spirals. Reef sharks glide through schools of fish. The land itself is quiet, just jungle, white sand, and wind. But the sea hums with wonder. Sipadan is protected. No overnight stays. Just day visits just all. It is not just a dive site. It is one of Earth's last untouched kingdoms, a cathedral of coral silence and sea. Sundarban's mangrove forest, Bangladesh, India. Where rivers meet the Bay of Bengal, the Sundarbans stretch like a watery labyrinth. This is the world's largest mangrove forest, a place of tides, tangled roots, and lurking shadow. The trees rise on stilted roots, half submerged in shifting water. Mudflats stretch to the horizon. Salt and silt fill the air. Here, the elusive Bengal tiger moves in silence. Crocodiles bask in the creeks. Fishing boats drift through narrow channels where man and nature coexist in tension and trust. Every hour brings change, new water, new tracks in the mud. The Sundarbans are not gentle. They are fierce, mysterious, and alive with breath and danger. Taal Volcano, Philippines. Taal sits quietly in the middle of a lake, which itself lies inside an ancient caldera. A volcano within a lake within a volcano, nature's riddle shaped in ash and time. From afar, it looks serene, a green island floating on blue. But inside, steam rises from vents and sulfur tinges the air. The crater lake glows emerald, sometimes gray, always changing. The view from the ridge in Tagaytay is breathtaking. Boats cross the water and horseback riders ascend the trails. Though small, Taal is powerful. Its eruptions are sudden, its history deep. It is not just a volcano. It is a paradox, peaceful and potent still and restless. Apo Reef, Philippines. Apo Reef lies off the coast of Mindoro, a marine sanctuary glowing beneath the waves. It is the second largest contiguous coral reef system in the world and the largest in the Philippines. Here the sea bursts into life. Soft corals sway like gardens. Turtles drift past brain corals and sea fans. Divers move through walls of reef and into blue voids full of rays, sharks, and swirling schools of jackfish. Above water, mangroves edge quiet lagoons. Birds wheel in the salty air. Apo is not just a diving site. It's a reminder of the ocean's brilliance, wild, rich, and endlessly alive. Taman Negara National Park, Malaysia. Taman Negara stretches across central Malaysia, one of the oldest tropical rainforests on Earth, over 130 million years in age. Giant trees tower above tangled undergrowth. Rivers snake through the forest, carving paths for boats and fish. Hornbills cry in the canopy. Tapirs and even tigers roam in shadows. Visitors walk canopy bridges high above the forest floor. They explore limestone caves and drift through night safaris under a velvet sky. Time feels different here, ancient, untouched. Taman Negara is not just a park, it is a living museum, humid lush, and whispering the secrets of deep time. Coron Island, Philippines. Coron rises from the Palawan Seas in jagged cliffs and hidden lakes. Beneath the waves lie sunken Japanese warships, ghostly reminders of a different time, now home to coral and color. Kayangan Lake glows with clarity framed by steep cast walls. Twin Lagoon hides behind a narrow crack in the rocks where warm meets cold, salt meets fresh. Above water limestone towers, thick jungle, still silence. Below shipwrecks, reef walls, and dazzling fish. Coron is not just beautiful, it is layered history, nature and mystery, all submerged in light and salt. Hai Van Pass, Vietnam. Hai Van Pass winds like a serpent along Vietnam's central coast, where mountains meet the sea. Clouds drift over the ridgeline, giving it the name Ocean Cloud Pass. The road curves through jungle-covered peaks and offers sweeping views of beaches, bays, and distant cityscapes. Once a strategic military route, it is now a ribbon of freedom for bikers and dreamers. Fog rolls in quickly, and the sea glimmers below. Forts and bunkers lie in ruins, watching silently. Hai Van is more than a road. It's a journey where every bend opens to wind memory and the pull of the open world. Khao Sok National Park, Thailand. In southern Thailand, Khao Sok is a realm of ancient jungle, towering limestone cliffs, and emerald waters. This rainforest, older than the Amazon shelters, gibbons, hornbills, and wild elephants beneath a dense green canopy. Chio Lan Lake, lies at its heart, where karst peaks rise like islands from still water. Floating bungalows drift under misty skies. The air smells of rain and orchids. Caves stretch deep into the earth, while jungle trails echo with life and silence. Khao-sok is not just wilderness, it is primeval where time slows and the forest breathes deep. Thilo Su Waterfall, Thailand. Hidden in the wilderness of Tak Province, Thilo Su is Thailand's largest and most majestic waterfall. It cascades from forested cliffs in tiers, falling nearly 250 meters into green pools below. During the rainy season, water roars over the limestone, veiling the cliffs in mist. In drier months, delicate streams split and fan like white ribbons across mossy rock. Birdsong floats through the air. Butterflies dance in the spray. Reaching Thilo Su takes effort by boat foot or 4x4, but the reward is raw beauty in motion. It is not just a waterfall, it is a hidden crescendo of forest and falling sky. Erawan Falls, Thailand. In Kanchanaburi's Erawan National Park, a 7-tiered waterfall flows through emerald pools and limestone steps. Named after a 3-headed elephant from Hindu mythology, the top tier is said to resemble its mighty head. Water tumbles gently through jungle glades. Each level offers its own crystal basin where visitors swim beside fish and stone. The forest hums. Monkeys chatter in the trees. Dragonflies skim the surface. Erawan is not just for the eyes, it's for the skin, the breath, a cool retreat wrapped in green and water and legend. Anambas Islands, Indonesia. Scattered across the South China Sea, the Anambas Islands feel like Indonesia's best-kept secret, a chain of untouched coral islands, white sands, and aquamarine lagoons. Coconut palms sway over quiet beaches. Traditional stilt houses sit above shallow bays. Below the surface, coral reefs teem with life turtles, clownfish, and the shimmer of untouched beauty. Few tourists make it here, fewer still want to leave. Anambas isn't flashy, it's gentle, remote, and full of sky and sea. It is not just an escape, it's the feeling of finding paradise before the world does. Koh Rong Samloem, Cambodia. Off Cambodia's southern coast, Koh Rong Samloem drifts in a haze of turquoise and thyme. Less developed than its sister island, it offers quiet beaches, dense jungle, and a starlit sky unbroken by city light. Saracen Bay curves like a smile. Lazy waves kiss the sand. Hammocks swing in the breeze. Here there are no cars, no schedules, just the rhythm of tides and laughter in the trees. Bioluminescent plankton sparkle at night, tiny stars beneath your feet. Koh Rong Samloem is not just peaceful, its purity a slower world, lit by moon, sea, and hush. Pongor Waterfall, Vietnam. Nestled in Vietnam's central highlands, Pongor Waterfall flows in broad terraced layers, a natural staircase of water and stone. It descends over basalt rock, spreading wide like a silver fan into a tranquil pool below. During the rainy season, the falls thunder. In dry months, it softens into gentle streams, graceful, calm, and mesmerizing. Surrounding forests hum with birds and breeze. Legend says a Kaho tribal chief turned into these cascading steps, guarding the land with her spirit. Locals come during festivals. Travelers come for silence. Pongor isn't just a waterfall. It's a memory etched in basalt, wide, wild, and quietly sacred. Kayangan Lake, Philippines. On the island of Coron, Kayangan Lake rests hidden among jagged limestone cliffs, one of the clearest lakes in all of Asia. Its turquoise waters shimmer like glass, reflecting stone, sky, and silence. A wooden path winds between sharp cast walls, leading to this secluded gem. Fresh water mixes with salt beneath the surface, creating shifting colors and temperatures. Snorkelers glide above strange rock formations and surreal underwater landscapes. The view from the cliffs is iconic. The swim in the lake is unforgettable. Kayangan is not just clear. It's otherworldly, a sacred mirror cradled in stone and sea. Belitung Island, Indonesia. Off the east coast of Sumatra, Belitung is a mosaic of white sand beaches, giant granite boulders, and calm, translucent seas. Tanjung Tinggi Beach is its jewel, a surreal landscape of massive stones, piled like sculptures shaped by wind and tide. Fishing boats bob in shallow bays. Blue skies stretch wide. Underwater reefs and marine life flourish in quiet beauty. The island moves slowly. Time feels softened. Belitung is not just scenic. It's serene, a place where rock meets water in harmony and life drifts gently like the tide. Phong Nha Ke Bang National Park, Vietnam. In central Vietnam, Phong Nha Ke Bang is a world carved from limestone and darkness. Beneath jungle-clad mountains lie the planet's oldest karst formations and some of its largest caves. Sun Dung Cave stretches vast enough to hold a skyscraper. Paradise Cave glows with stone chandeliers. Rivers disappear underground and emerge again in emerald springs. Above ground, dense forests cloak jagged peaks, echoing with the calls of langurs and hornbills. Phong Nha is not just geology. It's myth and depth, Earth's breath echoing through stone and shadow. Lake Lanao, Philippines. In the highlands of Mindanao Lake, Lanao rests like a mirror in a volcanic basin. It is one of the Philippines' largest lakes, deep still and sacred to the Maranao people. Mountains cradle it on all sides. Morning mist rolls over the surface. Fishermen glide in wooden boats, casting nets into waters rich with local legend. Springs and rivers feed its depths. Myths speak of guardian spirits and hidden kingdoms beneath the waves. Lake Lanao is not just water, it is memory of ancestors, mountains, and the silence between. Phnom Kulen National Park, Cambodia. Deep in northern Cambodia, Phnom Kulen rises like a sacred spine through the jungle, a mountain range rich with waterfalls, ruins, and legends. It was here centuries ago that the Khmer Empire began. Streams carve through soft red earth. The river of 1,000 lingers lies beneath shallow water, its ancient carvings whispering of gods and kings. Preah Ang Thom Temple houses a giant reclining Buddha watching silently over the forest. Butterflies float in sunlight. The air hums with history. Phnom Kulen is not just a park, it's a spiritual cradle where stone holds memory and rivers sing the past. Karimunjawa Islands, Indonesia. Scattered across the Java Sea, the Karimunjawa Islands form a tranquil archipelago of turquoise lagoons, white sand beaches, and coral-fringed coastlines. Protected as a marine national park, the islands are a haven for snorkelers, divers, and travelers seeking peace away from the mainland. Dozens of small islands, some inhabited, many untouched, lie surrounded by reefs teeming with life. Parrotfish flash through the shallows. Sea turtles glide past colorful coral gardens. On land, fishing villages live slowly. Wooden boats rock gently in the tide. Trails lead to quiet hills and sacred trees where island myths linger like sea mist. This is not just a destination, it is an escape, a place where nature speaks softly and the horizon feels impossibly wide. Koh Tarotau, Thailand. Koh Tarotau lies in the far south of Thailand, near the border with Malaysia, a wild, untamed island wrapped in jungle and mystery. Once a prison island in the mid-20th century, its past lingers among mangroves, cliffs, and abandoned ruins. Dense forests stretch across the interior, home to monitor lizards, wild boars, and hornbills. Empty beaches run for kilometers, kissed by quiet waves and shaded by leaning trees. Few roads, fewer tourists. The island moves at its own rhythm, shaped by wind, tide, and time. Kayakers paddle through sea caves. Hikers climb to viewpoints where the Andaman Sea unfolds endlessly. Koh Tarotau is not just a remote island. It is a place where silence reigns, where the wild still holds sway, and where history whispers through leaves and stone. Reem Sihanoukville National Park, Cambodia. Along Cambodia's southern coast, Reem National Park stretches from mangrove forests to coral-fringed islands. It is a haven for biodiversity, where land, river, and sea merge into one breath. Dolphins arc through estuaries. White-bellied sea eagles ride thermals above. Monkeys chatter from treetops as longboats glide through quiet canals. Salt and jungle mix in the air. Rain falls warm on leaves and skin. Reem is not just green. It's alive, pulsing with quiet wonder and the rhythms of tide and tree. Mount Batur, Indonesia, Bali. Mount Batur rises in northeastern Bali, its black volcanic slopes forming a giant crescent around Lake Batur. It is one of Indonesia's most active volcanoes, yet it welcomes travelers with quiet grace and sacred presence. In the still hours before dawn, hikers climb toward its summit. As the sun lifts, clouds burn pink and gold, casting light across the shimmering lake and distant ridgelines. Steam curls from rocky crevices. The wind carries the scent of ash and fresh earth. Surrounding villages still offer daily offerings to appease the mountain's spirit. Despite its history of eruptions, Batur remains a symbol of balanced fire and water reverence and adventure. This is not just a mountain. It is a place where time begins again. Each sunrise, where each step upward is a prayer, and every silence holds deep memory. Cat Ba National Park, Vietnam. Cat Ba National Park sprawls across forested hills and limestone peaks on northern Vietnam's largest island. Nestled in Lan Ha Bay, it protects both land and sea, a cradle of biodiversity and stunning scenery. Jungle trails weave through dense foliage, alive with macaques, civets, and hornbills. In the treetops, the critically endangered Cat Ba langur swings through ancient branches. Limestone cliffs tower over quiet bays. Hidden caves open to rivers and shadows. From high viewpoints, green hills ripple toward the blue sea, unspoiled and wild. Visitors hike, kayak, and listen to bird song, rustling leaves, and the hush of one of Southeast Asia's most vital refuges. Cat Ba is more than a park. It is a sanctuary for creatures rare and wild, for nature's resilience, and for those seeking a quiet breath of true wilderness. Thung Bua Tong Fields, Mae Hong Son, Thailand. Each November, the hills of Mae Hong Son turn to gold. For a few short weeks, Thung Bua Tong fields erupt in a blaze of Mexican sunflowers stretching endlessly under open skies. Rolling mountains are painted yellow. The cool air carries the sweet scent of blooming petals. Winding paths and lookout points draw visitors eager to witness this fleeting spectacle. Children play among blossoms. Photographers chase the perfect frame. The buzz of bees, the flutter of petals, all hum in harmony. The flowers bloom and fade quickly, but their brilliance leaves a lasting impression. Locals celebrate with small festivals, welcoming all to the hills. Thung Bua Tong is not just a floral display, it's a celebration of impermanence, a brief golden season that reminds us to stop, breathe, and marvel at beauty while it lasts. Koh Lipe, Thailand. Koh Lipe lies in Thailand's far south, a tiny island floating on luminous turquoise waters. Part of the Adangrawi archipelago, it offers a perfect blend of vibrant reefs, soft white beaches, and a pace of life that drifts with the tide. Sunrise Beach wakes in gold. Sunset Beach glows with fading light. Between them, Walking Street bustles gently with seafood lanterns and laughter. Snorkelers explore coral gardens just offshore. Longtail boats glide to hidden coves. The sky stretches wide, unbroken by towers or noise. On Ko-Lipe days unfold slowly, nights shimmer with stars and bioluminescent water. It is not just a paradise, it is a retreat for the soul, quiet, radiant, and deeply alive. Mount Bokor, Cambodia. Mount Bokor towers over southern Cambodia, shrouded in mist and stories. Once a French colonial resort, its summit still holds faded remnants, an old casino, a silent church, and ghostly villas wrapped in vines. The road winds up through jungle and fog. Wild orchids bloom by the roadside. The temperature drops, and clouds roll over cliffs, revealing glimpses of the Gulf of Thailand far below. The forest hums, time slows, monkeys chatter in distant trees. Though once abandoned, Bokor now breathes with new life, a blend of mystery, history, and creeping wilderness. It is not just a mountain. It is a place where empires fade and nature reclaims, where silence tells stories and each visitor walks in the shadow of both memory and mist. Bolavan Plateau, Laos. The Bolavan Plateau stretches across southern Laos like a highland cradle of waterfalls, coffee, and misty serenity. Elevated above the Mekong lowlands, it offers cooler air and fertile volcanic soil that nourishes lush fields and dense forest. Coffee plantations ripple across hillsides, Arabica and Robusta beans drying in the sun. Waterfalls thunder into deep green gorges, from the twin streams of Tad Phain to the silky cascades of Tad Yuang. Villages of the Katu and Alak ethnic groups dot the plateau, where traditions live on through weaving storytelling and quiet reverence for the land. Mornings arrive wrapped in fog. The scent of roasting coffee drifts through mountain breezes. The Bolavan Plateau is not just a region. It is a rhythm, a taste, and a breath of cool calm in the heart of tropical Southeast Asia. Koh Kradan, Thailand. Koh Kradan lies off Thailand's southwestern coast, a slender stretch of soft white sand edged by clear, shallow sea. Often called one of Thailand's most beautiful islands, it remains quiet, uncrowded, and dreamlike. Its coral reef begins just meters from shore, ideal for snorkeling among clownfish, sea urchins, and fan coral. Inland jungle creeps gently toward the beach, offering shade and birdsong. On clear days, the Andaman Sea stretches to distant limestone islets mirrored in still water. At low tide, sandbars emerge like golden paths. With few buildings and no roads, Koh Kradan feels timeless. Sunsets turn the sky to fire. At night, the stars arrive without interruption. This is not just a tropical escape. It is a gentle hush, a place where water whispers time slows and the world feels far, far away. Some places are not just visited. They are carried in the scent of rain, on jungle leaves, in the hush of mist, over high peaks, in the warmth of sand, beneath quiet tides. You have just wandered through Southeast Asia's wild heart, across rice terraces that trace the land like song, through islands that rise from coral and cloud, past temples where stone remembers every prayer. But the journey doesn't end here, because the magic of this region isn't only in what you see, it's in what you take with you. The pulse of waterfalls, the breath of forest, the stillness between waves. All it asks is that you slow down and feel.